It was around 6 years ago that I was introduced to porn. I remember I was at my friend's place and he invited his friend over. And it wasn't any naked girls, anything. It was straight up videos upon videos of orgies. And after that, this is where it kind of got me hooked. After that, each time I went over to their same friend's place, I was like, "Oh, can we look at like porn or something?" And then a couple of weeks after that, I think, was when I went to the library with my friend. And there's these public computers. So what we did was, imagine this. You've got a computer side of the room. Everyone's walking past and it's on a high table. And now me and my friend, being the dumb fucks we were, we literally just looked up porn and we went on images. So the whole entire screen was literally just covered in girls getting fucked. I'm not trying to put images into your brain, but that's pretty much what we did. And back then, there were no like filters, there were no like ad blockers, there were no like blur shit. It was just straight up all there. This was a public computer in a public library. And I remember it was, we were so hard. Like, I'm not trying to give you details, but me and my friend, we were literally like telling each other, like, why does it hurt so much? Because our peepees were literally like harder than rocks. And there's people walking past us and they can see this shit. So imagine you're an adult and you're walking past two 13, 14-year-old boys just scrolling through sex. Then my friend had to leave. And I was sit there just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, like, mouth dropped down in awe. And then my sister came over, and I can't forget this. She looked over and she's like, "Jan, what the fuck?" And I just clicked off it, and I was like, "Oh no, no, no! It was like a pop up, Don't tell mom I got a pop up." I think she believed it. I don't know. But ever since after that, it was my porn addiction started to spiral out of control because I don't like it when people say I'm not addicted. I only watch porn once a week. But if you're not addicted, you wouldn't watch porn. It's the same with a cocaine addict. Okay, if you're not an addict, why do you have to do cocaine once a week? People say it's for fun, but you can get pleasure from different things. So I wouldn't say I was initially addicted, but if I'd look at it from now, I would say it's already like an addiction starting to grow. But a couple of months past everything, it's not terrible. Like, I'm not addicted to it because I still don't have my phone. I sometimes sneak on my sister's phone, and I'll tell that story. So pretty much, I got my sister's phone. I went to the bathroom. No one was home, and I was looking on. It was Ariana Grande deep fake nude. Just bust. Don't look it up. But I was just like busting out my pee pee to that, and then I didn't really know much about incognito, all this stuff. I was a bit of a weirdo still, so I remember when she got home and she looked at her search history on her phone and she was like, "Jan, what's this?" And it was the whole search history was just like Ariana Grande nude. It's like, have you seen those meme videos where it's like those kids search up some like Roblox character big titty, some shit like that, barbecue sauce, or I don't know. So this was basically the same moment. And I told her like, "No, but my friends dared me to, and they dared me to do this." I mean, like, that's a pretty cool day, like get dared to watch like porn pretty much. So she never told my parents, which was good on her, but she was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I didn't think she knew really much at that time about it, but as you know, my life started to progress. I got my own phone. I started watching more porn, and this is where I saw my life kind of have a downward spiral as I was way more social. I was way more social. I had way more fun before I was addicted to porn. We were having Minecraft sleepovers, so pretty much it was me, my friend, my other friend, and I think a third friend. We'd sleep at one person's place. We all brought our laptops, and we were just jamming Minecraft. We were on a survival world because if you wanted to play on the same world, you have to have like open to land, and that only worked if you were on the same Wi-Fi network. So basically, that was our like dream fun. We were at one person's house. We were all like jamming Minecraft together on the same survival world, just having fun. Didn't really we knew a little bit about. Did we actually? I don't know, but we knew a bit about porn. Not really, but we were just jamming Minecraft. Having fun. The good old days. And then when I started watching porn and I got a Nintendo Switch, I started playing Fortnite. And this is where I think the spiral took its like first place. This is where my basically just porn just went up like this and my life just went down like this because there's a big because online on Fortnite you can talk to your friends. So what my life was basically wake up, maybe jam some Fortnite, go to school, come back from school, watch porn, jam Fortnite, watch porn, go to sleep, and repeat. And then days where I wasn't in school, I was literally just playing Fortnite, watching porn. I didn't do much else apart from that. And it's genuinely sad to say, but when I got a PC and I was gaming a lot. Some days were like 8 hours a day. Then I stopped socializing with people. Yes, I talked to people at school, but I never really hung out with people. It was like porn and video games were my life up to that point. And then especially when I got my PC, that's when it started. I started playing a lot of Fortnite, then I started playing Valorant, League of Legends, and I was watching tons of porn. And that genuinely like fucked up my brain because it rewired cells to tell me, oh, this is the normal thing. This is the normal baseline. So this is where the baseline's going to be. And each time I was watching more and more, the baseline kept dropping down. So I basically felt like absolute shit. Now, what people don't tell you is when you're addicted to porn and addicted to video games, the only high you feel is when you watch porn and play video games. That's the only time you feel good. But there will be a time where you are basically not even going to feel good about that. As I got to that point where I got bored from video games. I got bored from watching YouTube. I got bored from screens. So I literally just started watching porn because that was something like hyper stimulating. I was literally eating my food in front of screens. Like my dopamine cells were so fried. My attention span was so short. When I was at school, I was playing video games on my phone. I was watching reels. I was scrolling. And it was shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say, it was fun or anything. It was shit. It was the worst time I felt my whole entire life. Because you're stuck in this online realm sort of thing. There's so much more out there in the world, but you're stuck to this. I thought I'd become like a Fortnite pro player. I thought I'd become like a professional gaming YouTuber sort of stuff. But soon after, I was like, no, this is not going to work out. And then I remember when I stumbled across Andrew Tate, that was when I saw his video. And a lot of people don't do this. I saw his video and I just stopped gaming. Just stopped. There wasn't no buts, there wasn't no ifs. I just stopped. I sold my PC, sold everything, and I was just left with my laptop and my phone. And I know a lot of you can't do this, and that's totally okay, because you have to, it's like the analogy with, you have to deload the weight. You go to the gym for the first time, you're not going to bench 100. You're going to have to start off lighter. So that's the same thing with porn and video games, is you've, like me, because yes, video games, credit, easy, boom. But porn was actually the problem. Like, it took me so long, so many nofap tries, so many everything to actually get off it. And the way I did it was by having a good mental health. The whole time in my life, up when I was gaming, watching porn, I had a shit mental health. I felt like shit. I didn't want to do shit. The only time where I quit porn without counting days, without saying I'm on nofap, it's literally just like, I don't consume it. Do you watch porn? I'm not. It's not like I'm on nofap. My day streak is 375 days. I just don't consume porn. It's not something that I do. And the way I got on it was by having good mental health, by doing the fun things, going to the gym, finding a purpose, working on my purpose, getting work done, socializing with people, watching educational shit, reading books, meditating. Because this is all delayed gratification. Okay? And when you realize delayed gratification is actually better than instant gratification, that's when you quit porn, because you're going to work on something very, very hard. And then later on, you're going to see, like right now, I see my gains. I see the bench press going up. It's like 105. Squat is like 120. Deadlifts 150. And I see my body getting bigger and bigger and bigger. My muscles improving. And I'm like, shit, all this time me working on it, I'm genuinely more happy from this than consuming some stupid porn, or eating ice cream, because what? I'm going to get a high for like 2 minutes. And then I'm going to feel so shit and depressed. But from this, it's the other way. You have an infinite high, and it keeps going higher and higher and higher. That's how we quit porn. That's how we stop indulging in this dark pornography shit. Because this industry is fucking dark. There's people getting raped on here. There's minors on here. There's so many pedophiles on here. It's half of the stuff's not consent. You don't even know if that person's of age. They literally get forced to do it because they have no other option. And then they're walking whore for the rest of their life. So, for you to not consume this, not help these big porn companies, is literally to improve your mental health. Stop thinking about nofap. Stop thinking about porn. If you improve your mental health, if you work on yourself, that stuff is you're naturally going to forget about it. You're naturally not going to want to do it, because if you play games and then you start working on yourself, you start going to the gym, naturally you don't have time for video games. That's the exact same thing with porn. If you just, excuse me, if you talk to girls, if you talk to guys, if you socialize, if you hang out with your friends, if you work on your business or whatever, your purpose, if you study, if you work on that, if you are productive and proactive with your life, naturally you're not going to think about porn. Because if you go talk to that girl, if you go approach that girl today, you're not going to think about porn. You're going to think about her, not porn. And thinking about her is 100 times better than porn, because it's an actual, like, bodily communication, relationship, connection type of thing. It's not like you're watching some pixels and you're literally watching some guy fuck some girl, which is absolutely gay. People are like, oh, Bonnie Blue had sex with 1,057 men in 12 hours. That's gay. All those 1,057 men were not straight. They're gay. There's basically more cock DNA in her than there is from herself. So what I'm trying to say is, to conclude everything, I saw a fat downward spiral when I was consuming porn, and I was not happy. My life was shit. Every time I was sad, every time something bad happened, I went to porn. And I know it's difficult, brother. I understand, but that's why I made a full NoFap course at the top link in the description. I understand your struggles. I went through the same shit. I know how hard it is, okay? But I've escaped it. I've escaped this porn system where I don't think about porn anymore. If I go talk to girls, I speak to girls, that's where excuse me, that's where I genuinely feel better, because it's an actual humanly connection. So stop counting your days. Stop thinking about your NoFap. You're just on a different lifestyle. You don't consume this stuff anymore. You have a purpose to live. You're a busy guy, okay? It will naturally fall. And if you relapse, you relapse. So what? Who gives a fuck? You can always just take out a journal and write down, how come I relapsed? Maybe my morning started like shit. Maybe I didn't do the same things that I did every other single day. Because I get sexual urges as well. It's not just you. You're always going to get them, but you need to learn how to overcome them. I hope I could have told you something valuable in this video. I hope you can just watch this, maybe turn off your brain and just think, you know what, Jan's right, I'm going to try this. And if you relapse now, if you relapse tomorrow, but you're genuinely working towards something greater, that's okay. Don't think about relapse as setbacks. You learn from your mistakes. I hope I could have told you something. I'll see you in that course. Thank you.